In 2012, a golden retriever named Max disappeared from a beach in California. 4 years later, he showed up at a farmhouse in Maine, 4,000 miles away. How he got there is a mystery that still baffles scientists today. This is his story. Before we dive in, if you love incredible true animal stories, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Sarah Martinez lived in San Diego, California, with her husband Tom and their 4-year-old golden retriever Max. Tom was a Navy SEAL, deployed overseas for months at a time. During those long deployments, Max became Sarah's everything, her companion, her protector, her best friend. Every Sunday, rain or shine, Sarah would take Max to Dog Beach in San Diego. It was their ritual, their escape. Max loved the ocean. He'd chase waves, dig holes in the sand, and play with other dogs until the sun began to set. But on August 19, 2012, their Sunday routine was shattered. At exactly 3:47 p.m., Sarah's phone rang. It was the Navy. Tom had been killed in action in Afghanistan. Sarah collapsed right there on the beach. Strangers rushed to help her. Someone called 911. Paramedics arrived. In the chaos, the confusion, the unbearable grief, Max ran. By the time Sarah could think clearly, by the time she could even remember Max existed, he was gone. Sarah searched everywhere. She posted flyers across San Diego, checked every shelter within 100 miles, spent hours driving through neighborhoods, calling his name until her voice went hoarse. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Nothing. Not a single sighting. Not a single lead. Devastated and alone, Sarah made the hardest decision of her life. She couldn't stay in San Diego. Every street, every beach, every corner held memories of Tom. And now, of Max. 6 months after that terrible day, Sarah moved across the country to Maine to live with her elderly parents on their small farm, a place she'd visited only twice in her life. A place Max had never been. Sarah tried to rebuild. She got a job teaching at a local elementary school. She started therapy. Slowly, painfully, she began to heal. But she never forgot Max. Every golden retriever she saw on the street made her heart skip. Every bark in the distance made her turn around hoping. 4 years passed. November 7, 2016. Sarah's father, Richard, was in the barn doing late-night repairs. It was nearly 2 a.m. when he heard it. Scratching. Desperate, frantic scratching at the barn door. Probably a raccoon, he muttered, trying to ignore it. But the scratching didn't stop. For 3 hours straight, something clawed at that door. Finally, at 4:30 in the morning, Richard grabbed a flashlight and opened the door. An emaciated dog limped inside and collapsed at his feet. Richard called for his wife, Margaret. Together, they carried the dog into the house, wrapped him in blankets, and gave him water. The dog was in terrible shape, matted fur, cracked paws, ribs showing through his skin. He looked like he'd been through hell, but he was alive. The next morning, Margaret called Sarah downstairs. "Honey, we found a stray dog last night. Poor thing looks half dead. But Sarah, he has a collar." Sarah walked into the living room, still half asleep. Engraved on a metal tag, barely readable, "Max, if found, call Sarah Martinez," her old phone number. From 4 years ago, Sarah's knees buckled. "Max?" The dog's ears perked up. His tail started to wag. Sarah dropped to the floor and wrapped her arms around him. And Max, after 4 years and 4,000 miles, was finally home. A veterinarian confirmed it through Max's microchip. It was definitely him. But the question that haunted everyone was simple. How? The vet estimated, based on Max's paw condition, muscle deterioration, and weight loss, that he'd been walking for at least 6 to 8 months, maybe longer. From San Diego, California, to rural Maine is 4,200 miles. If Max walked 20 miles a day, every single day, it would have taken him 7 months. Through deserts, mountains, forests, cities, across rivers, highways, state lines, alone. Marine biologists theorized he might have followed the Pacific coastline north, surviving on fish, small prey, and whatever scraps he could find. Then, somewhere around Oregon or Washington, he cut inland. But here's what still haunts researchers. Sarah's parents' farm wasn't her old address. Max had never been there. Not once. Ever. Yet somehow through instinct, scent, or something science can't explain, he found her. Dr. James Wilson, an animal behaviorist at Cornell University, studied Max's case for 2 years. In an interview, he said, "We know dogs have extraordinary olfactory memory. We know they can possibly sense magnetic fields for navigation. But this transcends what we understand about animal cognition. The distance, the time gap, the fact that he navigated to a location he'd never been to. We simply can't explain it." Max's journey defies everything we know. Max spent his final years with Sarah in Maine. He never fully recovered physically. His paws bore permanent scars. He limped slightly for the rest of his life. But he was happy. Sarah said he'd follow her everywhere. If she left the room, he'd follow. If she went outside, he'd follow. As if he was terrified of losing her again. In 2021, at the age of 13, Max passed away peacefully in his sleep, lying next to Sarah's bed. At his memorial, which was attended by nearly 300 people who'd heard his story, Sarah said this: "Tom used to say, 'No man left behind.' It was the seal creed. Max heard him 4,000 miles, 4 years. Through hell and back, he didn't leave me behind. And I'll never forget what he taught me about loyalty, about love, and about never giving up." Max's story has been studied by universities around the world. Some call it instinct. Some call it coincidence. Sarah calls it love. And maybe that's the only explanation we need. Max's journey reminds us that the bond between humans and animals goes deeper than we can measure. If this story moved you, if it gave you chills, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the Tiger Stories if you haven't already, and turn on notifications, because I've got more incredible true stories coming your way. And here's the thing, Max's story isn't even the most unbelievable one I've found. Wait until you hear about the wolf that protected an entire village for 7 years. What that wolf did at the end will leave you speechless. That video is up next. Click it now. Thanks for watching the Tiger Stories. I'll see you in the next one.